In today's video we're going to delve into the mysteries of angels and the apocalypse, where mythology, history and spirituality are woven into a tapestry of deep meaning and transcendental beauty. Get ready to dive into a world where celestial beings play crucial roles in an epic narrative of divine judgment, redemption and hope. Since time immemorial, humanity has been fascinated by the idea of angels, heavenly beings who inhabit a plane beyond our own, serving as messengers and guardians, witnesses and agents of divine will. In Revelation, the last book of the Bible, angels take on an even more prominent role, revealing themselves as the heralds of the end times, the executors of divine judgment and the bearers of final hope. In this video, we will explore the role of angels in the book of Revelation, from their function as messengers to the seven churches to their participation in the apocalyptic events that culminate in the final victory of good over evil. We will see how these celestial beings are portrayed as heavenly warriors, agents of divine judgment and messengers of hope, playing a crucial role in the apocalyptic narrative. Throughout this video, we will be guided through the pages of Revelation, exploring its symbolism, its visions and its messages, as we delve into the depths of the spiritual and historical significance of these sacred texts. Get ready for a journey of discovery and reflection as we unravel the mysteries of angels and Revelation and their relevance to us today. Angels play an intriguing role in Revelation, especially when they are mentioned as the messengers of the seven churches of Asia Minor. Imagine receiving a letter from heaven addressed directly to you, not from an earthly sender, but from a heavenly messenger. That's exactly what happens in these letters, sent to the local Christian communities. The seven letters, addressed to the angels of the churches in Ephesus, Smyrna, Pergamum, Thyatira, Sardis, Philadelphia and Laodicea, symbolize the intimate connection between these communities and the angels who represent them. But why are angels specifically mentioned in these letters? What do they represent? These letters are more than just messages. They are symbolic revelations from Jesus Christ, transmitted through angels, to warn, encourage and correct the churches in question. Angels, in this context, are seen as spiritual guardians of the churches, representing divine presence and guidance in their lives. The mention of angels in these letters not only highlights the importance of the messages, but also emphasizes the protection and special attention that God gives to each of these communities. As we study these letters, we are led to reflect on the relationship between the local churches and the heavenly messengers. They remind us of the importance of direct communication with God and of our responsibility to hear and obey His voice. Thus, the mention of angels as recipients of these letters reminds us that, like these churches, we are also guided, protected and instructed by heavenly beings who watch over us on our spiritual journey. In the book of Revelation, angels are key players in the apocalyptic scenario, playing a crucial role as instruments of divine judgment. They are portrayed as active agents in carrying out the various plagues, catastrophes and judgments described in the book. But how exactly are angels involved in this process of judgment? From the seals broken to the trumpets blown and the bowls poured out, angels are the executors of the actions that trigger the apocalyptic events. They are the instruments through which God's will is manifested on earth during this period of tribulation. For example, when the first four seals are opened, four horsemen appear, representing war, famine, pestilence and death. These horsemen are sent as judgment upon the earth, and it is possible to infer that angels are behind these events, acting according to divine will. In addition, the seven trumpets that are blown by seven angels unleash a series of calamities, including rain of fire and stones, poisoning of the waters and darkness. These symbolic events represent God's judgments on humanity because of its disobedience and rebellion. The angels are also responsible for pouring out the seven last plagues, represented by the seven bowls of God's wrath. Each bowl brings with it a terrible punishment, such as painful wounds, waters turned to blood and a great global catastrophe. Once again, angels are the agents through which these judgments are inflicted on earth. Angels are portrayed in the apocalypse as the executors of divine judgments, playing an active role in carrying out the various plagues, catastrophes and judgments that take place during the apocalyptic period. This representation highlights the belief that God is sovereign over all creation and that He acts according to His will to bring justice and redemption to the world. Angels are central figures in the opening of the seals and the blowing of the trumpets in the book of Revelation, playing a crucial role in the revelation of the apocalyptic events and the announcement of the additional divine judgments that follow. But what exactly do these seals and trumpets mean, and what is the role of the angels in this context? The seven seals mentioned in Revelation represent a series of events that precede the final judgment and the second coming of Christ. When one of these seals is opened, a specific event is triggered. For example, the first seal is opened and a white knight appears, symbolizing conquest and victory. The angels are responsible for opening these seals, revealing the events that are about to take place on earth. In addition to the seals, the 7 trumpets are another important aspect of divine judgment in Revelation. Each trumpet blown by an angel triggers a series of catastrophic events, such as the falling of stars from heaven, the contamination of the waters, and the death of a third of humanity. The trumpets are signs of God's imminent judgment on the earth and its inhabitants. The angels are the guardians of these seals and trumpets, acting as the executors of God's will. They are responsible for revealing the apocalyptic events and announcing the divine judgments that will follow. Their presence and action in these symbolic events highlight their importance as messengers and agents of God, guiding humanity through the events that precede the end times. Angels play an essential role in the opening of the seals and the blowing of the trumpets in the book of Revelation, revealing the events leading up to the final judgment and the second coming of Christ. Their participation in these symbolic actions highlights their importance in the apocalyptic narrative and their function as messengers and executors of the divine will. In the book of Revelation, angels are portrayed as heavenly warriors fighting against the forces of evil, represented by the dragon, the beast, and the false prophet. This image of angels as defenders of divine justice highlights the cosmic battle between good and evil, where angels play an active role in protecting the faithful and defeating God's enemies. The dragon is often identified as Satan or the devil, the great adversary of God and humanity. He is depicted as a red dragon with 7 heads and 10 horns, representing his authority and power. The angels are portrayed as combatants against the dragon, fighting to protect believers from his influence and destructive power. In addition to the dragon, Revelation mentions the beast, which is seen as a representation of the political and religious power that opposes God. The beast is described as having monstrous and blasphemous characteristics, symbolizing corruption and idolatry. The angels are shown as fighting the beast, resisting its influence and defending divine principles. Another evil character in Revelation is the false prophet, who is described as a deceiver who promotes false beliefs and doctrines. The false prophet supports the beast and the dragon, deceiving people with false signs and miracles. The angels are seen as fighting against the false prophet, exposing his lies and protecting God's true followers. This representation of angels as heavenly warriors highlights the idea that there is a spiritual battle going on between good and evil. The angels are portrayed as defenders of divine justice, fighting to protect the faithful and defeat the forces of evil. This image reminds us of the importance of faith and trust in God, even in the face of adversity and temptation. In the apocalyptic scenario described in the book of Revelation, angels play a fundamental role as guides and messengers, especially for the book's author, John. Throughout the visions and revelations John receives, angels are present to guide him, instruct him, and explain to him the meaning of the events he witnesses. Imagine this intriguing scene. John, isolated on the island of Patmos, receives extraordinary and complex visions that describe future events and the ultimate fate of humanity. In these visions, he sees angels who appear to him, not just as heavenly beings, but as guides and explainers of these divine revelations. The angels not only appear to John, but also interact with him, explaining what he sees and hears. For example, when John sees a book sealed with 7 seals, an angel asks who is worthy to open it and reveal its contents. This angel not only asks the question, but also explains the importance of the book and its role in the unfolding of the apocalyptic events. In addition, angels are also present to interpret the visions John receives. For example, when he sees a woman dressed as the sun with the moon under her feet and a crown of 12 stars on her head, an angel appears to explain that she represents the Church of God and the struggle between good and evil. These interactions between John and the angels highlight the importance of angels as God's guides and messengers in the apocalyptic scenario. They not only convey divine messages, but also help to interpret and understand the visions and events that John witnesses. Their presence provides John and the readers with a deeper understanding of the spiritual and historical significance of the apocalyptic visions and highlights their importance as intermediaries between God and humanity. As we explore the roles of angels in the apocalypse, we are taken on a thrilling journey through visions and symbolism that reveal the epic battle between good and evil, divine justice, and final redemption. The angels are presented as messengers, guardians, executors, and guides, playing key roles in the apocalyptic narrative and conveying profound messages about faith, hope, and perseverance. When we look at the angels as messengers to the 7 churches, we see the importance of direct communication with God and obedience to His will. As instruments of divine judgment, the angels remind us of God's sovereignty over all things and the certainty that His justice will prevail in the end. As keepers of the seals and trumpets, they warn us of the imminence of the final judgment and the importance of being spiritually prepared. Angels are also portrayed as defenders of divine justice, fighting against the forces of evil and protecting the faithful. They remind us of the reality of the spiritual battle we face and the need to stand firm in faith. As guides in the apocalyptic scenario, they lead us through the visions and revelations, helping us to understand the spiritual and historical significance of the events unfolding. Ultimately, the angels in Revelation inspire us to trust in God even in the darkest times, and to keep our hope in the promise of redemption and the final victory of good over evil. May their messages and presence strengthen and guide us on our spiritual journey, reminding us that, like John, we are also guided and protected by God's angels. May we listen and follow their guidance, preparing ourselves for the day when all things will be renewed and restored according to the divine plan. And so we conclude our journey through the mysteries of the angels in Revelation. I hope you have been inspired and edified by these fascinating revelations. If you enjoyed this video and want to continue exploring spiritual and biblical themes, don't forget to subscribe to the channel, activate the notification bell, leave a like and share it with friends and family. Plus, we want to hear what you think. Leave a comment below sharing your thoughts, doubts or experiences with angels and the apocalypse. Your interaction is very important to us and enriches our community even more. And don't forget to check out the recommended videos that appear on the screen. They can expand your knowledge of this fascinating subject even further. Thank you very much for following this video to the end. Your dedication and interest are very valuable to us. Until next time, and may the angels guard and guide your steps.